Hello and welcome back to the Mic Check Show. Today we have a special guest on here today. The award winner of the Certificate of Recognition for incredible dedication and passion for sports in the great Grand Prairie region, Brannon Edgar. Is
Good to be
Edgar
here,
or
Mike.
Edgar?
Edgar.
Okay, I got it right. Perfect. Finally. Anyways, how's the off season been treating you so far?
So far, so good. Just kind of been taking the last couple of weeks to get our bearings together and sort of go over everything that's happened in process and figure out what our next steps are and go from there. I know a lot of the guys are hitting the old fundraising trail already, so
Oh,
it's
perfect.
been off to a good start already. So
That's great to hear. Okay, so before we get down to the team aspect of this, what does it mean to be the was it the the certificate of recognition, yada yada, sports, all that jazz? That's a
that
long time.
It is. It is. That's a really cool program we have up here in GP, the Grand Prairie Regional Sport Connection. They kind of keep the community tied together and send out information on all sorts of kids programs, adult programs, anything sport related in the Peace area. So it was really cool for the team. A couple of the guys on the board nominated me for that certificate, and it was a really cool honor to be recognized, and the little write up they did was amazing, and I couldn't be more thankful to work with the group of people that I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's safe to say that you've done a lot of great work for the GP area, especially in sports.
Yeah, it's been a long road. I've lived here my whole life and been playing sports my whole life, so this I feel like is the least I can do to kind of help out and give back in whatever way I can, however that looks.
Oh yeah, I'm I'm pretty sure they all appreciate it.
Seems
All
like
right.
it, yeah.
Yeah, it was great to hear. All right, so we're gonna get to all all Brendan for this whole thing. So a young Brendan, where did his journey start with talking third person? Where did your journey start with contact sports?
Contact sports, I started at a bit of an earlier age at a more unconventional, I think, area than typical football players. I started Taekwondo when I was 6.
Okay.
And that was sort of the only contact sport that I really kind of did. I did try out Pee Wee football when I was 8. But I was a baseball kid, soccer kid, kind of any ball sport that I could get my hands on.
All right.
Everything but football, really. Gave it a shot. I think I was 8 years old, and I went right back to baseball the next year. So
Jeez. Um, so after that, where did rugby come into the play? Was that more like high school or
yeah, yeah, exactly. I did start playing football. I don't want to say full time, but on a regular basis in grade 10. Rugby came in grade 11 after that, and kind of just stuck with me. It's a personal favorite game of mine. I love that sport so much.
okay. Do you still play it now or just watch?
I haven't had time really with the Cowboys and the amount that kind of has gone into that this year. It's been a few years since I played, but I do try to keep up. I did see our women snuck out a nice win over New Zealand a few days
All right.
ago, so that was fantastic to see. But yeah,
Yeah,
talk.
I haven't paid too much attention to rugby, but it does seem like Canada is getting better at that sport nationwide.
Yeah, yeah, it's been really cool kind of growth to see since I started watching. I was like back in 2011, I started watching, and then the women have came such a far way. They're really really an excellent program, and they're run really well. I think the men's are taking some steps forward as well too.
Okay. Uh, Interesting question. Well, for me back in high school, whenever I saw women's rugby, it was always more brutal than the men's, just on how they played. Was it the same for you out here?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that goes into um I don't want to say a skill gap but I think an experience gap. I think girls. I coached women's football here in Grand Prairie for a few years as well, and you can really see the difference in the girls that have been playing for 2 3 years, that have been tackled, that have thrown tackles. They've been in contact. They know what that feels like, and then um, just like it is on the men's side, the newcomers come in, they're not really sure of how to brace themselves or how to go into contact properly. And in game situations, that usually doesn't pan out very well.
Yeah, it's fair. 'Cause a lot of new guys will just throw their bodies at people and hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or turtle or cover up like this and get real small. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
important to know how to brace yourself for sure.
exactly. All right, so we're going to continue on with the rugby talk. So, of course, you played rugby in Alberta, but you also played in Ireland. What was that experience playing in Ireland, and how did that come to be?
It's a cool story. So I was playing here in Grand Prairie for the men's team for a few years. I've been playing with them since I was about 16. And a guy on that team was from Ireland, him and his family. And they hooked me up with a friend of theirs, and he hosted me for about a month and a half. And I went out there and played just a bottom low level tier two, tier one men's league rugby down there for about 3 4 weeks. It was an amazing experience. It was incredible.
Wow, like even though it was short, that's still pretty awesome. Um, do you notice a difference in skill level between Ireland and Alberta?
Uh yeah, technical skills for sure. It's the way they handle the ball and the strategies that they use are a lot different. Um, uh, Grand Prairie rugby is kind of similar to old school Grand Prairie football, where they're just gonna be in the trenches and just pound the ball down the field the entire game, and it's going to be a fist fight one way or the other. Whereas I felt like overseas it was a lot more focused on technique and strategy and angles and all kind of the nuances of the game that we hadn't really quite gotten to on this side of the globe at that point.
Okay, wow, that's pretty incredible. Because have you seen the Six Nations documentary on Netflix?
I did watch a couple episodes of that. Yeah, it's a really cool little piece.
Yeah, like I never knew Ireland was really into rugby until I watched that, and I'm surprised that they don't play more football after playing rugby so much and loving it.
Man, they love football over there.
Oh,
Our
really?
warm Oh my god, they love the NFL. All the rugby guys do anyway. Their warm up for their rugby practices, we'd play football.
Oh, wow,
They'd bring out a football and they'd have all the big forward guys running routes, and they're playing two-hand touch, they're running the route tree. They love that. They watch every Sunday. I was quite surprised at that too.
damn. Well, if I ever move to Ireland, I'll feel just at home.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so after Ireland, you came back to Canada. Um, so in 2015, you signed with the Vancouver Island Raiders. As a GP kid, why did you pick them over the two teams in Edmonton?
So my junior career was a little bit unique. I didn't really have anybody looking at me coming out of high school. I was lucky enough that the now head coach of the Sun, Travis Miller, was my high school coach, and he obviously had connections down in Okanagan. So he took a couple of us out. I did spring camp for the Sun in my grade 12 year. Um, and I don't think I made that team. I feel like they offered for me to come out and be a practice squad guy, but the timing, I was 17, the timing didn't really work out for me. I had no idea. I wouldn't have lasted very long, to be honest with you. I had
Yeah,
no idea what I was doing. So I passed on that and let that go by. And then was playing rugby, and then uh I liked my buddy ended up going out to play VI, and he shared something that they were looking for a running back. and I just liked the post. I didn't message them or anything like that, and I got a message immediately and was just like, "Are you a running back? Are you looking for a place to play?" And I was like, "Well, no, I played receiver in high school as a slot back, but I ran the ball." And and they were like, "Well, do you have tape?" And I sent them my high school tape, and they're like, "When can you be down here?" It's August. Our season started last week, and I took. I think it was 2 days later. I left Grand Prairie. I packed up whatever I could in a bag, and I went down there and got my mom to mail me all my stuff down to the island, and slept on a couch for a few months, and just kind of dove right back into it. I hadn't put on football equipment in 2 years. And so it was just the whole thing was just a very snap, quick decision. Didn't really have anywhere else to go. Wasn't really even thinking about football at the time, and just got the opportunity and took it. And I'm really glad I did.
That's funny that you say that because Josh, if you saw my last episode, Josh kind of had a similar thing. Like, wasn't even thinking about it, and they just messaged him, "Hey, we need linemen." So kind of the same for you. We need RBs. So it seems like
Yeah,
a very BC type thing to do.
yeah, very, very much. I feel like their situation that year, I'm not exactly sure what happened prior to me getting there, but I do know they had one guy that was their guy, Nate Berg. He was like a 4 or 5 year starter for them, local product at a Barsby High School there. Um, and he was there. He had 2 years left when I got there. And then, other than that, the running back room was pretty empty. I'm not sure if they had some commits back off or some guys get hurt or what, but it was me, Nate, and like a couple other guys that told me they were fullbacks, but were not fullback sized at all. So
Like 150 pounds.
yeah, it was like 175, 5'8". So I'm a fullback. And I was like, well, good luck, brother.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Yeah.
Geez. Um, so you spent 3 years there. What was your experience like with the Raiders, especially just living in Vancouver Island for a bit?
Living in Nanaimo was amazing. I had never been that close to the ocean for that extended period of time. I opted to live there in the off season as well. I didn't come back to Grand Prairie. I just kind of made my own way down there for a few years and immersed myself in that process, and it was really cool. It was a good process. You know, being 5'6" and playing football, you got to kind of fight for your life every week, every practice. I had to prove myself every single time I stepped out there, and I'm proud of myself for the fact that I did, all the way to the point where like the only games I didn't end up dressing for was in my first year playoffs.
Yeah,
So that was something that I was really proud of myself for, and I was really happy to be a part of the team environment down in VI. They had the 3 years that I was down there was an awesome 3 years to be a Raider. And I cherish every minute that I spent down there. I've, friendships, still talk to guys from the years that I played, still hang out with them. I'm in a fantasy league with a bunch of them. Just a really cool experience. And then I think it all culminated in 2017 when we won the Cullen Cup and had to go get our ass beat by the Hilltops a couple
yeah,
weeks
stuff like
later.
it happens.
Yeah, yeah, that was a typical story for about, what was it, like 10 years?
I think
5 years? Who knows? Forever.
so. Yeah. Okay, so going a little off track here. How are you doing in your fantasy football league? I have to know.
I I'm in about four different leagues this year.
We'll talk about the one that you are with your old Raiders buddies.
Old rate. Oh, I'm mopping that one up. Those guys don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they have no idea.
Jeez.
I asked if we were playing for money or what the buy-in was, and he was like, "We're not doing money. None of these guys have ever played before." And so I was like, "Yeah, we shouldn't do money then, because this is not
Yeah,
going to go well."
it's the easy money for you.
Yeah, I think I ended up in that league. I ended up getting the eighth pick in the draft, and I ended up getting Gibbs. So that goes to show you how much they know.
Yeah, fair. Say I had the 12th, and it's looking pretty rough for me.
Yeah, snake or linear.
Snake.
Oh, so you get the back-to-back picks. That's not terrible.
Yeah. And I wait like 20 something picks.
Yeah, and then you got to wait another 10 minutes, and yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard when everyone's drinking.
That's probably even more difficult. Yeah.
True. So after your Raiders days, when did you come back to GP?
My fiance and I moved back here in 2018 together, and I that was right when I played Drillers that year,
Okay. So,
and then yeah,
so that goes on to the next question. So, of course, you were there for the Drillers. They folded, which definitely sucks.
yeah.
What was it feeling like getting the Cowboys into GP?
It felt really good. It was a big process to get it off the ground. And being a part of the last couple of years of the Drillers there, the last year or two. I remember that last practice when I just like looked at McGlynn and we were 20 minutes into our practice time and there's 8 guys jogging around a field out in the middle of Claremont. And I looked at McGlynn and I said, I don't think we can do it this year, man. And that was kind of the end of that. And then so it's been a very redeeming feeling to get the Cowboys off the ground, especially with not being able to go with COVID. And then we sat out 2021 and then kind of came in 2022, and have kind of been building from there. So it's been very redeeming. We've always talked like uh, it was such a cool thing to see the first game and
Mhm.
now to see kind of where everything has how far we've gone from there has been nothing short of a blessing. It's been a miracle, and I'm so thankful that we've had the awesome people that we've had to help make this a reality, to help keep men's football in Grand Prairie and in the Peace Country area, because it's something that I think that we need. And I think that there's um, a certain legacy on the field from the drillers that we want to keep, that Grand Prairie deserves to have that. And I think that that's something that, that's something that we carry forward with everything that we do with the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because I always love going up to GP playing games. Like it's always a fun experience and a fun trip. So when the Drillers left, it was definitely a bummer. But now that the Cowboys are here, I'm like, finally, stay.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but also another question I got now. So I know that you help out definitely a lot with the Cowboys. What are the other people who really contribute to the Cowboys franchise and success?
Oh man. This year in particular, Will Quintel really stepped up. A huge shout out to him. He's been awesome to have as a part of. I mean, I call him our defensive coordinator because he basically ran the defense this year. So having him has been just incredible, and it's just I don't have to worry about an entire third of the game because of Will. So super grateful for that. On the back end, the board members, Chad and Ty Cluett really, I mean, the work they do behind the scenes to keep this team going is incredible. And we're working on getting them more people like them around them so that they don't have to kind of take everything on. Like we're at the end of like the Cowboys is a pretty small operation. Like day to day, there's I would say under 10 people on a given day board wise that are taking action for the Cowboys.
Okay.
And last year it was even fewer.
Okay.
So it's been, a homegrown product. Hi.
Come and say hello.
Yeah.
Stealing the show.
Um, oh my goodness. Right in the way. Get out of here. Yeah, no, Chad in particular, the work that he does is incredible. He just busts his ass during the season to make sure that we have everything that we need and everything is where it needs to go. And I mean, everybody that we have has contributed immensely in the past, not just this past year, but throughout the entire history of the Cowboys. It's been amazing to see. I never thought I would see a group of people work together and kind of keep something alive like this as well as they have over the past 5, 6 years.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it's definitely. Of course, isn't a job that people get paid for. It's just the love of the game, and it's great to have all these guys love the Cowboys and just make it successful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been really cool.
yeah, they definitely earn some recognition because, of course, the guys on the field get it, but people behind the scenes, they definitely should earn their flowers. I would guess I would say.
It definitely helps to have football people in those positions, if that
True,
makes sense.
it does.
And it's great because the right now, I mean, the guys that are in our board doing all this planning they're strap on gear every weekend.
Yep,
So it just serves them just as much as it serves everybody else for everybody to do as best of a job they can to make sure that we're rolling out a program and a team that is cohesive and has a clear goal and a clear path and a clear standard. And that's something that we really tried to focus on this year was establishing that not just to the league, but to everybody else. That we're not just here to go 1-6 every year and squeak out a lucky win. And no, the Cowboys are here to stay and they're here to make a statement. And we're only going to keep getting better every single year.
that's awesome. I love to hear that. Alrighty, so I guess enough of the Cowboys as a whole, and back to you. Um, I love talking about like athletes and people's setbacks and what kind of got in their way of success or not success, but something that brought them down. Um, can you name a setback that you've ever dealt with in your life, athletically, personally? Doesn't matter. You can share it. And how did you overcome it?
That's a really good question. And I was looking forward to this one. Um, so, my high school in grade 11, I was 2011, was my grade 11 year. Um, right before our playoffs started, we had 5 guys get into a car accident, and 4 of
Oh,
my teammates passed away.
geez.
The fifth one was in a coma for I can't remember how long in Edmonton. He ended up surviving, thank God. But that was a big one. That was a really big kind of obstacle in our way as a team, and for me personally, for me as an athlete, kind of all of it. I was really close to the situation. Like I was first person to the vehicle. The driver was my best friend. The rest of those guys were my teammates, my brothers. A few of them I had gone to school with for years, and having the community kind of go through that was really tough. And it taught me a lot about perseverance and the importance of things like community support and leadership. That's my high school coach Rick Gilson somehow managed that situation with professionalism, with grace, with dignity, and everything that you would want something like that to be handled with. I got to watch him do that firsthand, so I think that's where a lot of the basis of my leadership principles come from is going through something like that and seeing how you deal with that from a head coach's standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, from a school standpoint. There's so many different layers that goes into something like that. So I think that's kind of really the biggest one I would say for
Oh yeah,
me.
yeah. Sorry about your loss. Yeah, that's definitely never easy, especially just losing a best friend just like in an instant. Um, yeah, it's great for your head coach to do something like that. I don't, of course, I don't know if they get paid, but just to be there for just the kids, because for all of them, it's never that easy.
No,
No, jeez. All right.
no.
So I'm glad you overcame that. Definitely not an easy thing to do. The guy that was in a coma, how's he doing nowadays?
Nowadays, he is down in Kelowna. He recovered well. He relearned how to walk and relearned how to talk and all that kind of stuff. He did end up back in school as well, I think the next year and a half following the accident or so in my grade 12 year. I feel like he did come back for a little bit. So he was able to kind of salvage some sort of recovery and work with his physical therapists and all that kind of stuff to kind of make sure he could get back on track.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
because after a crash like that, it's never easy to bounce back, but I'm glad he did.
It really was a miracle, given everything that went into that accident and everybody else in the vehicle and all that kind of stuff. So it was we're very lucky and very thankful to have him around.
Of course, of course. Alrighty. So now we're gonna raise the spirits of it. Um, Football players, I say, always have great funny stories. I haven't gotten a ton of them on here, but do you have any great funny stories from on or off the field?
Um, I wouldn't go so far as to venture to say they're super funny, but I do have a couple of good stories. When I was playing in I think this was 2016, and Adidas came out with these cleats that had a lion on them. Do you remember these cleats? They're white and they had a lion or something on them with a crown on his head.
I had to
Some
look it up.
um so main camp for VI, we pull up to camp and one of our starting linemen is wearing these cleats and they're low cut
Ah,
and I'm kind of looking at him a little sideways and I'm like, "Hey, you like lions, friend? You a big lion fan?"
yeah.
And he looks at me and kind of gives me the shut up now eyes. And I was like, well, all right, man, like relax. And he was kind of just like, "You're getting a lookout block today for that." And I was
Yeah.
like, "What do you mean?" Like, I was just joking around, man. You got a lion on your cleats. Like, relax, it's fine. And I kind of forget, I go get my stuff on, warm up, forget about it, whatever. And we get into the first series and um, I go up and take my rep, and it's inside zone left, and he's standing there, and he kneels down in his stance, and then I just see him turn around and look at me, and I was like, "There's no way he's gonna do this." And then he just comes out of his stance, stands straight up in the air, and turns sideways, and I get blown up by a tackle in the backfield. And then I'm laying on the ground and he comes over and he's standing over me and he goes, "You ever make fun of me ever again? And I will make sure that happens every single time you touch the ball." And that was the last time I ever made a joke at a lineman ever in my entire life for the
Gee,
rest of time.
it wasn't even that bad of a joke.
I was just making fun of his, he's got a little kitty on his cleats. Like, but you know
Yeah.
what? He was ended up being a great guy and a good lineman and a great teammate. So I'm glad that we got that out of our system at camp.
Yeah. At least it's at camp and not during a game.
That would have been way worse for sure.
True.
We did have
Uh,
a funny moment this year for Cowboys actually.
let's hear it.
We did our rookie party in Sylvan Lake. And I don't actually remember how this started. I think this is an old drillers thing, but for our rookie parties, all the rookies wear dresses. So all these rookies get dresses, and everybody was a really good sport about it this year. They all went out and they picked out their own dresses, and everybody did it, whether you were, a 30-year-old rookie or a 20-year-old, whatever. And so we are walking around in Sylvan Lake with about 10 guys in dresses. Four of them are O linemen, so they're, a little bit more portly than
Oh,
the rest of us. And we're trying to decide what bar to start drinking at. It's about 10
yeah.
o'clock at night. And we pick one at random. Can't see what's going on inside, can't see how busy it is. We just know they serve alcohol. So we're like, all right, sure, cool. The guys, the rookies open the doors and walk in with their dresses, and the roof blows off this place with women screaming, just like ear shatteringly loud. The first bar we picked, we walked into two bachelorette parties, two
Oh,
different
jeez.
bachelorette parties with 8 men in dresses, and the whole place just exploded. And I'm sitting there just kind of laughing to myself. I'm like, how can this be any more perfect for these guys? Like, how is it you can't script this any better than what just happened? And yeah, we, finished the rest of the night out. It was a great fun night. And yeah, just, I couldn't even believe the luck. Like, you can't, how does that happen?
I know. I'm so lucky that happened. Jeez. So, part of rookie night, is it just the dresses, or do they have to sing like karaoke or anything else?
I was I was going for karaoke this year because I was promised by a couple guys that I would hear a couple songs that I wanted to hear them sing. So I was really, really pushing for karaoke. But no, just dresses and whatever general jackassery you can manage to get up to in a dress as a man, which apparently is a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome. I love hearing the the rookie parties and what each team does. Um, I can tell you about it later with the Gators and the Pack. But I'm wondering what other teams in this league does because that's interesting. It's interesting and fun.
Yeah, yeah, we try to keep it a little lighthearted. We don't want to scare anybody off by, making them do stuff they don't necessarily want to do. Alcohol is not usually involved when we're doing our rookie. I mean, like it is, but not involuntary consumption. Like no one's forcing drinks down anyone, like the precedent is to go out and have a good time and
Oh,
enjoy yourself. And you just have to wear a dress. And
yeah,
it turns out to be a really good conversation starter if you're wearing a dress. So it really is not that bad of a thing. So don't let that deter you from coming up and playing for the Cowboys. I promise you'll get numbers. I promise.
exactly. The ladies love it.
They do. Don't
Yeah,
know why, but they do.
yeah. And if you're shy, there you go. That's your icebreaker.
Exactly.
Awesome. All right. So we already touched about the Cowboys' success so far, especially coming from the pandemic. So I'm gonna change it up a little bit now. Um, how did you get involved with running some of the operations for the Cowboys?
Um, Being involved with the last few years of the drillers and the guys that were involved with that, we, you know, even with that last year, 2019, I think it was not panning out for the drillers. I think we all kind of quickly sat down together and tried coming up with a plan to, if not keep the drillers, keep Grand Prairie in the league and keep us represented and figure out maybe a better way to build long-term success and not just kind of hope from year to year to year that we are going to bring in enough guys and stuff like that. So I really I started in the original planning meeting for the Cowboys, and then they had a couple amazing individuals in Dusty Sage, Chad, Weave. They really took the reins and got this thing off the ground. And then 2022, I was the first year they were going to touch the field, and I knew that I had to be a part of that, and so I joined as a player and. I've been, kind of helping out and poking around youth football around Grand Prairie. So a couple of guys knew who I was, and um, we really started building back in 2022 when we, hit the field for our first spring camp. That core group of guys that was there for that is still there today, and it grows every year. Every year the first practice, maybe a few guys are busy, a couple guys are reluctant. It's January, guys don't want to get off the couch, all that kind of stuff. You start your practice off a little smaller. Our group's growing bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. The regulars at practice, the people who I know are going to be there Tuesday, Thursday, every single time, no matter what, that group has grown bigger as we've gone. So, um, seeing that and seeing where we were positioned kind of last year and going into this year, I knew that there was a couple pieces that we needed as a program. coach being one of them. So I kind of, was speaking with the board. I'd been part of the board, I think, since 2021, 2022, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Um, and I got a hold of them and kind of asked, hey, like, this is coming up. We don't have anybody. I can take this on if you guys need me to. Just let me know. And then a little bit of deliberation, and they said yes, and I kind of went all in from there. And I think we had a bit of a late start this year, but other than that, everything went really, really well and really smoothly. And just super stoked to kind of see really what the program was able to achieve when you add these little tiny pieces in. The Cowboys have never had more than two coaches at once. We've never had a positional coach. We've never had necessarily designated coordinators. It's always just been, this guy will do it, or we'll use this guy's playbook, or this, that, and the other thing. And this was the first year that there was really a concerted effort to kind of sit down and come up with game plans and strategies, and especially offensively, a playbook where, all the guys know what they're doing, and there's a little bit of uniformity to it, and it's not just kind of, haphazard, which it still was this year. It's, it was a little bit all over the place, and that's how it's going to look. Most of the guys that, would be helping me run something like that are in gear warming up and doing indie and all that kind of stuff. So when you've got one guy trying to run, you know, indie period for three different position groups, and then an O line group. I've never played O line, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and
Fair.
it was a lot to handle. But the guys really came together. The leaders really stepped up this year and led when they needed to lead, and whether it was by example, whether it was vocally, whether it was through their play, like it didn't matter. Our leaders stepped up when we needed them to, and I think that was the reason why we had so much success this year. Is we keep adding pieces that we've been missing through years previous, and then we grow a little bit as a team. We add a piece here, grow as a team. Add a piece here, grow as a team. So
Yeah, it's definitely a step up from previous years. Because at the beginning of the year, no one, well, I won't say no one, most of the league didn't think you guys were going to make it to the finals, and there you were. And you guys, what's the word? Like, even though you guys didn't score and it was like 35-0, you still gave them, I think, their best competition all year, even from like nationals. Like, you guys were in it the entire time, so it's great to see that growth. And I'm definitely excited to see what's going to happen going forward.
thanks. Yeah, we are too. We really feel like obviously we had our big injury there, and that really kind of lulled the pace down for a lot of the
Oh yeah,
guys. Kind of took them out of it. I know you guys too. You guys had to deal with the same thing. Um, it's just a weird situation to kind of get up and continue from. But yeah, no, we wanted to make sure every time that whistle blew that you guys knew that we weren't just gonna, you know, half-ass it or quit on the field or anything like that. Like when the deck is stacked against you, when the deck is stacked against you like that, it's important that you show your opponent the respect that they deserve by, going out and playing till the final whistle. It's never made any sense to me to, uh, not put out your best effort just because you're down 70, whatever it happens to be. We've been in those situations and we've only had 12 guys to play.
yeah,
So there's a certain core group of us in the Cowboys that kind of have that mentality of, we're here, might as well make it a fight. Like the result is the result, but we're going to scrap every second that we can, and that, I think, has been sort of become the Cowboy brand and what we've been trying to kind of pass down to the guys that are joining and coming on. And now that we do have the bench to kind of send the subs in and get these guys fresh legs. The hardest part is getting them off the field. They don't want to come
yeah,
off. I got guys telling me that they want to run into a brick wall, or that they want to play D line, or that they want to play running. Like that's another problem on its own as a coach when you're like, just stop, play your position, please be a linebacker, be a D lineman. I don't relax. Um, but it's a good problem to have. It's a good. I've
Oh yeah,
got so many guys that are just they're just willing to do everything they can for the Cowboys. And that's I think seeing that is where a lot of my pride and where I look at that as a success for us as a program. When you can cultivate that kind of mindset out of guys who are maybe new or just coming around, but they're fully bought into what you've got going on and the unique play style that we all have up here coming from GP. Like it's just hard nosed, and it always has been, and it always will be.
yeah, definitely. It's definitely the reputation that you guys built, definitely throughout the years. Okay, so we have some technical difficulties. Question for you. So you remember that injury in not nationals, the AFL final, right?
Yes, very well.
Did I end up showing you what happened?
No, I haven't seen a video of it. I did have a pretty good view of it from the bench, so I'm cool on all videos.
Okay, because oddly enough, I have the sideline view of it. I was like maybe 10 feet away.
Yeah, there. Yeah, the Kurt was saying that they had a couple good angles of it, and dude, they were able to watch stuff on their sidelines. There, man, they got so much cool stuff. Like, oh, no
Actually,
wonder you guys whooped everybody. You guys are watching replays on the sideline. Like, holy.
okay, I got a story about that. So I didn't play in that game because I wanted to do like my show and all that stuff. And I sent my brother to your sidelines to do film. He
Yeah.
wasn't really doing anything, so I gave him a break. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna film some game film. I wasn't going to, but I did it anyway, and that was my first video.
Oh no.
I'm like, whoops! I think I jinxed you guys.
Oh gosh, it was your fault.
I think so. Speaking of him, how is he doing?
He's good. He's good. I kept in touch with him and his mom, kind of as we were leaving and in the weeks following, and he ended up going home. I think he was in Calgary for 4 or 5 days. I don't want to get it wrong, something like that. And then
Okay,
they sent him home. The surgery went well. He's recovering. Um, and yeah, it's just a matter of time now. It's a very unfortunate thing, and we're very, very thankful that he was able to, I mean, even get there and get the care that he needed. Incredibly thankful that he came out of that okay.
yeah,
So,
which is great to hear.
yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty, so we're coming close to the end. Um, I'm gonna give you a recruiting platform. What do you say to new recruits looking to join the Cowboys next year?
Oh, well, we're a place to compete and grow and have fun at the same time. We are a very close knit team. The majority of us are friends. I think if you ask anybody that came and hung out with us after any of our home games, or ended up meeting us out in the bars in your city after an away game, but there's always 10 to 15 to 30 of us constantly in a group after the games. We're all friends. We all enjoy hanging out with each other. Um, and we've managed to find that good mesh point of being close and being competitive still with one another and with everybody that we come across. We want to win every rep every time, whether it's at practice or in a game. That's just the mentality that our guys have. Um, and if you want to be a part of that, you're more than welcome to come along for the ride. You're going to be a part of a meaningful process. This is something that's been in the works for a few years now, and like I mentioned earlier, it's just adding a piece here, adding a piece there, and man, I firmly believe that we're right there. Um, our defense isn't looking like it's going to change much next year, unfortunately for all of you. Um, so it's just a matter of getting the guys in the spots that we need, and it's going to be interesting. I think the Cowboys it wasn't just a one-off this year. I think this is a good turning point for the program to kind of capitalize on the momentum that we've got and keep going, not just next year, but for the next 5 years.
Okay, awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. So, last question: would you like to thank anyone for your football journey, and just anyone you'd like to thank?
Man, there's so many people. I've got a small list here that I'm going to rattle off really quickly, and I apologize to anybody who I maybe feel like I should have mentioned, but Rick Gilson, Jerome Erdman, Colin Pippy, Doug Hawk, Tom Slade, Kareem Marr, Trevor Pelland.
Awesome.
Yeah, just I would not be the person I am or in the place I'm at without any of those people being a part of my life at the time that they were. And so if they manage to see this, I'll share it with them, and huge shout out to them. Thank you.
Awesome. Gonna say I could give a timestamp for them, but they can watch the entire thing. I think
Exactly,
they enjoy it.
exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Brandon, thank you for being on and being my first Cowboys player and coach being on the show. You should tell the guys if they want to be on, just shoot me a message. Definitely put them on, give them a platform. And yeah,
I will tell some guys to do that. I will not tell all the guys to do that. But thank you for
I would
having me.
like
I
50
appreciate
messages.
it. Yeah, it'll be a very selective few that will get that invitation, I promise.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Mike Check Show. Don't got much to say except for thank you to the Cowboys for supporting the show throughout the season. I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully, can see more exciting things to come, especially for the Cowboys. And thank you, Brendan.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it. Love the show.
You're welcome. Awesome. All right, Mike, check it out.